If you're actively trading crypto, then you probably know that the vast majority of traders lose. Now, the big question is, what makes you different? Why do you think that you should be among the small minority that ends up winning? When you think about this fundamentally, right, there's two components to any trade. There is the luck component, but there's also a skill component. In what kind of way are you more skilled than others? In what kind of way do you know more than others? What are you doing actively to be better than the vast majority of other market participants? Trading is pretty much the same as any other competition. It's pretty much the same as, say, playing tennis. Right? If you want to win in tennis, you have to be more skilled than others. Of course, you can have a lucky day. Maybe your opponent feels a bit sick. Maybe your opponent feels a bit off and he's not that strong on that day and you can win anyways. But most of the game, most of the determinant, whether or not you're winning that tennis match, is your skill. And how can you be better than your opponent? How can you climb up the different ranks in tennis? You would, for example, train every day, right? You would learn theory every day. You would learn from people that have been there, right? You would get the right trainer. You do all kinds of things to get a market edge, to be more skilled than others. You wouldn't just do what everybody else is doing, right? If you want to become the best at tennis, you have to put in more than most other people. So what is that more for you? Are you simply just watching crypto YouTube? Are you simply just reading through Twitter like anybody else? Or are you actually putting in more effort than others? Are you actually trying to find out what is some data behind different trades? Are you tracking, for example, wallets of very influential traders? Are you maybe learning how to analyze data in terms of using different tools that most people aren't using? Are you maybe paying for specific tools? Are you using, for example, Nansen, or are you learning how to use Dune Analytics, how you write your own queries in Dune Analytics? Are you maybe very well connected? Do you learn a lot about what people do proper trades? Do you maybe have those people as friends, or do you try to make those friends? What is your market edge? Your market edge does not lie in drawing random lines on charts, because everybody can do this, right? If you want to win the tennis match, if you want to win the trading game, you need to have something that's sustainable, that's beyond just the luck component. And there's a lot of ways to gain an edge in the market, right? But you have to find your niche. You have to know where you are better in compared to others. Do you have the skills to analyze the blockchain data better? Or are you very well connected? Or do you maybe know crypto programming, and are you maybe better at launching a new project, right? If, let's say, you want to launch a meme coin, do you have something specific that only you can do, that you then offer to the whole meme coin world, because there are thousands of new meme coins launched every week or every month, right? What differentiates your meme coin launch? Is there something that you bring to the table that's novel, that people haven't yet seen before? Or are you maybe very good at marketing, right? Maybe you have special knowledge in online marketing and you can bring more attention to a project. There's a lot of ways, again, to beat the market, but you have to be better at something compared to the others. You can have the perfect smash, you can have the perfect slice in tennis, you can have some killer shot and win the game this way. But if you don't work on something that makes you differentiated, that makes you better than others, then it's very unlikely that you're going to beat the game over the long term.
Here's the problem with crypto YouTube. People promoting becoming degen or buying 100x coins. That's what gives clicks, but that's not what's going to bring you forward. I refuse to take money from centralized exchanges. I refuse to take money from crypto projects. I refuse to pump and dump a coin and filling up my pockets in the background. I don't do any of this. Instead, I share my knowledge in the form of tutorials in the premium membership. So that's content that won't do well on YouTube, but that builds up skill over time. You can also directly contact me over there. You can directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out. TheBitcoinStrategy.com is the link.
For me personally, that's mainly blockchain analytics. I have built several tools on Dune Analytics to count, for example, the number of retail investors versus the number of whale investors. I also like to track various wallets. I like to track other influencers as in I buy when other influencers are buying, then in the hopes that that influencer will later promote a coin, right? So that I then enter very early and then I can then sell once those influencers promote the coin and all this attention is brought on the coin. I try to beat the market in this way. I still have a clear way of where my alpha, where my outperformance is coming from. It's not just coming from random technical indicators that the RSI is underbought or overbought. It doesn't come from this because everybody can look at the RSI. It could potentially come from back tests, right? I've also run some back tests on various technical indicators. If you know, for example, this particular indicator tends to work very well over a very long time period, and you've maybe optimized the parameters of that indicator. I personally, for example, have calculated the best moving averages for Bitcoin. Then this can also work. But if you simply just draw, say, the 200-day moving average, who tells you that this will actually work? Who tells you that this works for Bitcoin or for any other crypto asset? It could only potentially work if you ran the numbers, if you actually know that statistically speaking, there is a higher likelihood of the price going in one direction versus another direction. So pick your market edge. Determine where you can be better than others and then zoom in on this, then learn about this, then train up that particular skill in crypto land or in any other market for that matter. Train this up, become really, really good at this, and then differentiate those bottoms and tops better than others because you have data, you have skills others do not have. It is in the end a player versus player game. And if you want to make a 10x on your capital, then on average, 9 other people lost everything. Normally people don't lose everything, right? Normally people lose maybe 50% or so if they're on the loser side. So that means you have to be maybe in the top 5% of traders in order to make a 10x on your capital, of course, relative to, the market average, right? Relative to Bitcoin. So if you want to outperform Bitcoin by 10x, you have to be, I assume, at least in the top 5% of traders. And for that, you have to put in the effort that all those 95% of people aren't putting in. You can, of course, be only lucky, but usually if you play this for long enough, then luck will leave you at some point. You have to have something that others don't have. You need to have a skill. You need to have a source of information that other people don't have. And so the easiest shortcut to becoming a winner is to learn from the winners. So pick the people that you believe you can emulate the best. So think about, why is this particular person outperforming? Is this person maybe very, very skilled in programming and you are yourself somewhat skilled in programming? Maybe you should learn from that person how they wrote their arbitrage trading bots, or how they wrote their front running bots, or how they wrote all kinds of different trading bots, right? Or maybe you should learn what kind of specific smart contracts they have built that generated all of this attention, all of this capital for their project. Maybe you should try to find communities that are especially focused on programming, on development, and get your money in that way. Or let's say you are very good at marketing in general. You've already done online marketing, say for e-commerce stores, etc. Then look at the profitable traders in crypto that are already good at marketing, that maybe make most of their money with content on YouTube, with generating attention to a specific project that maybe might be buying beforehand and then generate all this attention, potentially then dumping afterwards. If that's super moral is another question, but of course you can also make money with marketing in crypto without just pumping and dumping, right? You can simply just help crypto projects grow their community and be part of that project, maybe get an early allocation that you can then sell after a certain unlock period, etc. So I believe there's many different ways to roam. There's many ways to outperform the market, to be better than the market, but you have to pick what you are unique in, what you are better in than others, and then develop that skill over time. And the longer you develop that skill, the more you will differentiate yourself and the more likely you will be in the top 5%, and then maybe someday even in the top 1%, etc. And this way you will then grow your alpha more and more. This approach doesn't just work in crypto, right? This works in any market. If you are, let's say, in the property market, right, you could simply just work with macro analysis. You could figure out, okay, is the market as a whole currently heated or cheap? How does it look like with current inventory? How does it look like with current financing costs? What's the current demand, etc.? You can simply just trade property based on that. But you could also zoom into the micro, right? You could look at what are very good deals in a particular street. Maybe where can I buy a fixer upper? Where can I buy a very cheap property? And then learn how to fix this. Maybe a very good contact to all kinds of handyman, etc. and then make your money that way, right? You simply buy a cheap property, fix it up, and then flip it for a much higher price afterwards. It works in any market. It works in the car market. It works in the crypto market. It works in property. Simply just develop a skill in something so that in the end, you can tell what is a good deal, what is a bad deal, that you can buy low, that you can sell high. And there's many different ways to buy lower compared to the average. You simply just have to know what's the source of your alpha. Why should you be among the few winners? If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. Feel free to also join our Telegram. Link is down below. Cheers.